Audio for video sessions have many tracks. In this movie, we'll go over some quick ways to group tracks by type and display them quickly and easily. Groups are managed in the box on the lower left of the Edit window and Mix window. By default, Pro Tools starts you off with an All group, which can be used at any time to control all the tracks in your session. I click on the All group, and I go to the Mix window. You can see that all faders are being controlled. Deselect the All group. To create a group, we can type Command or Control-G. This is the Groups dialog box. Instead of the All group that's in there by default, we want to make an All My Tracks group to control the tracks that are just in our current view. Not everything. Remember, we have some hidden OMF tracks over here that, as you can see by this display, aren't part of the tracks that are currently in the All My Tracks group that we're about to create. And we want to leave it that way. So in this Tracks tab, we can see all the members that you're about to add to your group, plus any available tracks that you could potentially add if you wanted to. You also see that there's a group ID. This is ID A from Bank 1. There's 4 groups of alphabetical lists of groups you can make with a total of 104 groups for any Pro Tools session. Then we can go over to the Attributes tab. Here, I would think that we'd probably want to control volume and mute. Those are kind of the default things you'd like to control with a group. So I'm going to check those for now. You can also add send levels for any of your 10 available sends. You can add send mutes. You can add pan to your group attributes. For now, we're going to keep these 2 checked, and we'll click OK. You can see the All My Tracks group appeared in our groups list. Let's make some more groups. Let's make a group just for the dialogue tracks, for example. Command or Control click to unselect that dialogue track. Click again to select it, and we'll shift click to select just the dialogue tracks. And we'll type Command or Control G to start a new group. We'll call this one Dial for our dialogue group. And you can see it's ID B. Click OK. And let's make one for all of our effects tracks. Select the top effects track all the way down to the end of our effects tracks. Command or Control G, all effects. Now we're going to make some subgroups within those all effects groups. So we'll make one just for production effects. Call that Prod Effects. Click OK. And we'll make one for just the mono effects. And we'll make one for the stereo effects as well. So we'd go on and make different groups for even things like music tracks, ambience, and so on. Now let's take a look over at the Mix window so we can see what these groups look like here. Right now we're in narrow mix view, so we can't fully see this little pull-down window here that tells us about our groups. We can get us out of narrow mix view by going to View, uncheck narrow mix, and now we have our wider mix tracks. We can see this pull-down menu, for example, on the Dialogue 1 track, shows us that this track is part of the All My Tracks group, and we can see those tracks here. You can see that it's also part of Group B, the Dialogue Tracks group. We can see those tracks containing the 8 dialogue tracks. You might also notice here that it has a capital A. Whenever you see a capital letter as a group ID, it means that that track is in more than one active group. In this case, the dialogue track is in the All My Tracks group and the dialogue group. For example, the reference movie is just in the All My Tracks group, and so it has a lowercase a. Here's where it gets cool. Setting up these groups is a little tedious, but you can now use the groups to quickly show, hide, and even select members of a group. Let's go back to the Edit window to see how this works. So in our groups list to the left here, if I click on this narrow colored strip to the left of any group, I can quickly select just the members of that group. If I click on the green strip next to the dialogue group, scroll up a little bit to see what happened, all my dialogue tracks got selected. I do the same for the production effects. Just those tracks get selected. This is really handy if you want to select tracks quickly and route them to a different output or bus. You can use this trick to quickly select all the members of that group. You can also use the groups list here to show and hide different members of a group. To do this, you hold down Control or the Windows key as you click on the group name. So if I do this for the dialogue group, every other track quickly gets hidden and we just see the dialogue tracks. You can do it for, say, mono effects, production effects, or all effects. And then we can use the All My Tracks group to get back to our original view. Again, I was holding down Control or Windows to do that as I clicked on the group name. Now let's select all the effects groups. You might notice these odd little circles on the left-hand column of the groups list. These tell you what members of a group are currently selected. So right now we have all of the effects tracks selected. If we see a closed dot, it means that all members of that group are selected. If we see an open dot, like we're seeing in the All My Tracks group, it means that some, but not all members of that group are selected. Finally, if we see a filled-in open dot, like we see on the production effects, mono effects, and stereo effects, that means that all members of a group are selected, plus additional members outside that group. So that's a handy way to tell what members of a group are currently selected. And one last thing, if you need to edit the members of a group, you double-click also in that leftmost column. So if I wanted to edit the members of the dialogue group, for example, I double-click next to dialogue in that column, and I get the group dialogue window again. Here now, for example, if I wanted to take dialogue 8 out of this group, I can remove it, and it no longer becomes a member of that group. I can click it again and add it back. So you can edit the members of the groups that way. When you're working, the faster you can get an idea from your mind to your Pro Tools session, the better. So using groups like we did in this video really helps you speed up your audio for video workflow.